Well, guys, my least favorite part of weaning, the whining for a couple days. We got her and a couple more cows right here, which we've listened to Beller all night long, which honestly means they're a good mother. And I'm only saying this jokingly, but there's the bad mothers. They don't care no more. Like I say, I'm only joking. But yeah, that's the joys of weaning, is the whining, the bellering all night long for 2-3 days. That's the one thing that I hate about having to wean calves. It's that 2-3 days of constant bellering. But that's not really what this video is about. This video is about more talk of the combine. As I was pulling out the driveway yesterday with the 11 gilts that were going back to my buddy's place, a neighbor pulled in the driveway and asked me to combine his beans. Well, that puts a new urgency on fixing everything. He has between 20 and 30 acres of beans. So, back out here monkeying with this combine. I just come out here and was looking at this variable speed feeder house and realized that it has quick disconnects for the hydraulics, you know, that go up to that lever, which is supposed to be for the reel. And I did disconnect them. I'll grab my flashlight. So you can see right there where one end went in, and then right back there is the other end. And this end right here has the male end on the header to raise the reel up and down. So when I put the bean head back on, we're going to hook that reel up and raise them up just a smidge so it quits hitting my rock guards or getting between my sickle and the rock guards, because I'm pretty sure that's why it keeps breaking rock guards. And I did just order a new drive head for the sickle. And apparently the other day when I was looking at parts for that header, I was looking at a different style sickle, not the factory OEM sickle. OEM sickle's $265, $270 for the whole thing. And I can get just the head that has the bearing on it that, you know, is the end of the sickle for $73 or $74 or something like that. Well, I was going to order a whole new sickle, but this head is still junk. So I ordered just a new head, and I figure worst comes to worst, I'll put all new sickle sections on this sickle. The problem is now with sickles, I don't know if it would be the same if I order one from John Deere, but I'm going to go in the shop where it's a little bit quieter. When you order a sickle now from Shoop, if it's longer than 6 feet, it comes as 2 pieces, and it comes with a splice kit to splice the sickle together. So I did not order a sickle because I ordered a sickle from them, which I put in this Heston Haybind that I'm having nothing but problems with. And I haven't had any issues with the sickle itself with that splice, but it just worries me. It's just another thing to break or come apart. So I didn't order a sickle this time. I just ordered the head, and I figured worst comes to worst, I'll run it, finish these beans, and over the winter I'll put all new sickle sections in on this sickle, And if I really think I need to, I'll order another sickle, and then I would have maybe put the new sickle in and keep this one for a backup or a spare. I ordered all new rock guards, and I'm kind of hoping if I raise the reel up on there, that'll prevent the rock guards from breaking, which I can run out there and show you. You can see that the teeth on the reel go between the sickle and the rock guards. Yeah, and I know my shop is a mess. Everything's a mess. So I'm hoping by raising that reel, that'll prevent the rock guards from breaking. And I had some comments about my feeder house speed. I am running it as slow as it will go, which I discovered when I was doing the winter ride that was running too fast. That's why I figured it was breaking in bolts. Well, I'm running it as slow as it'll go, so it really shouldn't be an overspeed of the sickle. And it's going to be hard for me to turn this right now because the head is on the ground. But if you look at that tooth right there, it's between the sickle section and the rock guard. Well, if we look across here, go down to here, and there you start seeing all the broken ones. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So, I'm gonna hook, now that I figured out that there's disconnects on that feeder house, I'm gonna hook this end back up so I can raise the reel up in the air. And worst comes to worst, I might get or make a cylinder stop that I can put in this cylinder here on each side to prevent it from coming down too low. We'll see if it becomes an issue out in the field. The other thing, Bandit had mentioned that you can change the pitch of these teeth on the hume reel. I'm not exactly 100% for sure how to do that, but I know on right here there's an adjuster bolt for the tip of it forward and backwards, and I believe there's a bolt in there. Yeah, and see, when I was doing winter eye, it was in this hole, and I moved it back to this hole because I could not get this whole piece to slide. There's a 1/2 inch locking bolt right here. I loosened both of them up on both sides and I had a come along on it trying to pull it, and I hooked right here, and then I hooked back there and tried pulling, and I could not get that thing to budge. So I tipped this back, hoping that it would get the reel closer to the auger to help push the feed into the, help push the material into the auger so the auger could grab it and take it, which it did help with that in the winter eye. But it might be what's causing me a headache here in the beans, I'm not for sure. So I'm going to put this back to the hole it was in, which that's going to push it back forward, and in theory one would think that would change the pitch of the teeth a little bit. But I would still like to get this reel closer to the auger, because what it's doing is laying the beans down on the platform, but they're not getting close enough to the auger until you get a big pile or a wad on there. Then the teeth will catch it, throw the whole wad in, and then it feeds me a slug into the head, or into the machine. And a slug of beans going into the machine hasn't really been an issue. It's been where I ran out of beans with the drill. The drill started running out of beans on one side, and the other side was still up in the inspection window. Well, I had a strip of weeds all the way around, and which gradually got more and more and more, and and it was when you would have those weeds in there that I would slug the combine. It wasn't really with just a wad of beans. In the beginning it was, until I tightened up those belts on the brass bar cylinder. But now since I tighten those up, if it's just beans, a wad of beans going in there, the combine will grunt a smidge, but it doesn't slug the cylinder. But I would like this to feed better, because I have 20-30 acres to go over here. It'd be nice to go a little bit faster. So that's kind of what's going on here. It did rain last night, so, and like I say, I just ordered the parts from Shoop, and like I say, with this, the only adjustment I can see for the pitch on the teeth on the reel is this adjustment. I mean, you can see right here, this is basically like a cam, and I don't see any other adjustment on there. Bandit or someone maybe has an idea. I don't. Like I say, other than a bolt on each side that holds it in place, and then this adjuster bolt, that's all I really see. So I'm going to put those back to the hole they were in, and then hook up the cylinder on this reel so I can raise it up a hair, get it away from there from breaking the rock guards. And then I'd still like to give it one more shot on trying to slide this back a little bit to get these teeth. Because if you look here, which, like I say, you can see that pile of crap on there that needs to get cleaned off of it, but that's as close as it gets. And I don't know, maybe just putting the hydraulics on it so I can lift the reel up will be enough, even leaving it in the position it's in. I don't know. But, and obviously it's digging in the ground right now because it's sitting on the ground, so we're all the way up to the 0 on there. I mean, that floating bar is pushed up tight. I did not order fingers for that. That's going to have to be a different day. But I didn't have a whole lot of issue with that feeding in. So, and I noticed there is bolts on that cylinder, or maybe instead of putting a cylinder stop on there, I can just move it up to that next hole, and that would prevent it from getting down too low too. So I don't know, there's a lot of different things I guess a guy could adjust. But I do know that on that sickle head drive, the bearing, as you can probably see, is out of that. And I was gonna order that new block, but it's 60 bucks, and that one, there's nothing really wrong with it, so other than it's chewed up a little bit from the bolts. So that's kind of the situation with that. And like I say, another 20-30 acres of beans to do, so it kind of puts a new urgency on getting this fixed and getting ready to roll again. So anyhow, if anybody has any comments or suggestions or whatever, let me know. Otherwise, I think that's the plan. Get the combine hooked back up to him so I can get him off the ground, and then make these adjustments. Try one more time to move that reel back. I like to just move it back an inch or two. I mean, an inch or two right there would be huge. But for the life of me, I could not get that thing to move with a come along. So, and that I can try adjusting sitting right here again. But anyways, and then when I was planting the winter rye, I use the acre meter on there to figure stuff out, and that the gravity box still has beans in it. He didn't have time to stop here with the end dump before he went down to Meyer Brothers with it yesterday, and he took, there was 267.22 bushel in that end dump, and that come off of 6 acres. And then the headlands, I combined 3 acres, and that's what we're figuring. There's around 110 bushel in the gravity box because of the size of the hopper on the combine, and just with the way it looks in the gravity box. So as you can see, 267 divided by 6 is 44 bushel the acre. So that's what we're figuring it yielded. And as you can see, there's beans here on the head. I had sickle shatter. There are beans that shattered and fell on the ground in the field. So that's kind of what we're figuring it did for yield. So I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, it's the first year ever raising beans. I've never raised beans before. I've never dealt with beans. Last year I ran my cousin's TR98 over, I don't remember how many acres it was, 40, 50 acres of beans. That's all I have experience with beans. We've always raised corn and small grains. We've never really dealt with beans, so I'm pretty happy with them. And right here, this is the last part of the field that they say it builds up here, and it'll build up a little bit more, then all of a sudden it would feed that slug through. And this was a little bit I was trying to clean up, so it's got a bunch of crap in it. It's got dirt and stuff in there, so I actually shut the machine off before it was going to feed that through. But I found a running gear. I'm going to try and build a header cart so I can get this on a header cart. And then I'm still looking for one more that I can put the corn head on so they're not sitting on the ground. For now they're going to have to sit outside, but at least if they're sitting on something, they're not right on the ground, which is holding moisture all the time. So anyways, guys, that's a little bit more rambling about the combine and what's going on. Here, one more quick thing. See how that rock guard is bent? That's how it starts. It starts by they bend sideways, and then I try straightening them and I break the top off. That's why all those, the tops are broke off right from the point. So that's kind of what's going on with that. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one.